Hi, this is Glenn Phelan from the9way.com. Just offering humanity a different reality. So if we don't want to sit in this debt-based reality with all these problems that we've got, we need to have a look at something else, and there's nothing else available that I'm aware of except for the Menaian Way. So, firstly, we need to see, is the whole system that we're living in now broken, or are there parts of it we can keep? Because like all broken things, usually you can keep the body of it or something and replace some doors or whatever it might be, and you might be able to fix it up. But I don't think this one's fixable, but we'll have a bit of a look. So let's see why we think it's broken. The system we're living in now is called capitalism, and it's founded on private ownership, fractional reserve, free markets and democracy. What does all of that produce? So what does mankind get out of that? Well, we're lucky enough to get poverty, hardship, separation, debt, homelessness, mental health, sickness, greed, corruption, slavery, family violence, child abuse and war, aren't we? There's a hell of a lot of things. So if we're getting that, well then we know that the system's broken, right? So let's have a look at democracy. Why is democracy bad for the people and the planet at the moment? Well, Aristotle put out something back in 345 BC where they reckon that there was good kings, bad kings, and when it got to governing over a lot of people, they had democracy, which was supposed to be for self-interest, and polity, which was supposed to work for the good of the people. Well, we're not in a polity, we're in democracy, and at the moment democracy is not doing too good for us, and yet they keep deposing governments and trying to put democracy in place. So democracy, in my opinion, is not where we're supposed to be going, but if we go back to a polity where the people would be working for each other, or the people in charge would be working for each other, either way they can turn like they have through this world, and we need to actually change that system anyway. So we might be able to have democracy in a sense as long as mankind can control it. So as we move forward, I've got a couple of pictures there to show you that we need change, and all the authorities got the bags of money, and of course they're keeping it or putting it towards something that is not good for the rest of us. And of course they use a free market, which isn't free at all, because billionaires can put plenty of money in for shares and drive up prices and do whatever, and the people can't do anything about that, and when it's time to cash out they just drop the markets right down and everyone's a big loser. So this we already know, but what about the people? Where are we going to go from here? Now the reason that we're talking about this now is because you've got BRICS has come along. They're sick of being put over the coals by the US hegemony, and they've created a new banking fraternity, which instead of Russia leading it or China leading it, it's a collective, and people are going to be paying with 40% gold and 60% of their local currency, so people don't need to use the US dollar anymore. And that's a good thing, because that actually brings the markets back to a fair and favourable place. But now we've got to change that for the good of the people. So before they go and put these things into place, we need to have a bit of a talk about how to change this for the good of the people. So let's have a look at the Menaian philosophy. So the Menaian Way is something that I started building back in 2012 or into 2011, and I've been working on it for a while. It's taken a long time to work out how humanity works and which elements of that society we can change and how it would change everything. So the Menaian philosophy now is a needs-based reality. It's got a foundation to protect the people and the planet. It's got a directional goal to make the basic needs of housing, electricity, telecoms, fuel and food and water free. So, did you hear that? That's a directional goal. So we're driving mankind towards a society where the basic needs of housing, electricity, telecoms, fuel and food and water are free. And it might sound like a tall order, but it's not. And the reason it's not is because of the systems and tools I've had to build to make that a reality. So then we've got the hierarchy, the control. And in the Minoan philosophy, we don't use the pyramid, we use a circle. So the outside of the earth, we're all holding hands together. None of us are standing above everybody else. And that's what our authority's got to be built on for the whole world. So that virtually means we've got to build autonomous systems, or automated systems, leaderless systems that benefit society everywhere. So that's the basis. And then underneath that, you can have, governments and just communities that work towards those things. But to have that, everybody is now responsible to mankind and the planet. That's the purpose of changing that. So most of the laws in most countries have got God above, and we've got to change him out for mankind. So we'll do that for legal purposes, and therefore everyone has to be responsible to humanity in the future. So to do that, of course, you've got to change how some of these markets work, because if the basic needs are free, then the collectives of the markets around the world, the first basic part of that becomes what people need, and that's not going to carry a cost, and anything after that will be marketable. So that's pretty simple. So needs-based systems rather than debt-based systems, well, it makes needs more valuable than money, so money becomes secondary in this system. We use a trading system where money is born and dies, so you can't have this big bubble that keeps destroying us and pushing costs up. We're not having that anymore. And we have a housing system which separates the land from the fixtures, and then the fixtures reduce in value. And the best part about that is we can drive investment to do that, and everyone's going to be better off than they were by reducing the cost of housing. So that's another good thing. So all of these systems that we've built will give us freedom, equality, safety, security, stability and peace by default. So we won't be arguing about human rights anymore. We're going to get all this stuff by default, and that comes through the systems and tools designed to give us that by default. So what else have I got? A needs-based reality is said to make the debt-based reality obsolete. Well, that's exactly what it does, because once you've got your basic needs for free and you actually don't need any further cash, well, you could actually live without money, and that's good for governments and it's good for pensions and all that sort of stuff. So no one's going to be reliant on anyone else. The system actually looks after us, so that's what it's for. So if we have a system such as that, then we can get rid of this debt-based impact which has been knocking us around. We won't have any more top-down governance, which is built on layers of separation. So that's why we can't change things, and it's why all these elites now are doing things and saying things that just aren't based in reality or not in our reality. So it's like quite open now. People are seeing it from every angle. The death-based impacts, well, everything's been weaponised, from viruses to drugs to food to resources to money. It's all weaponised these days. In our last, I think, 50 years, we've lost 1 million species of plants and animals are now gone. It says there's a third of the natural forests and ecosystems are now gone. And we've added 4 new toxic elements to the periodic table, which was said to not ever, it was supposed to be a table of fixed elements, which humanity's adding to, so that's pretty horrible too, isn't it? And these weaponised weather events through the Paris Agreement. And of course we've got acidic rain now where we used to have alkaline, so it wasn't affecting the iron on your roof and all that sort of stuff, but now it'll eat it away. And of course we can't really see the stars anymore because somebody's put 500,000 satellites up there, and you've really got to be good to notice what's a satellite and what's the stars. So that's what's been going on with the world that we've had. If we want to be more empowered, I've got a trading system that is called Karmic Credits. Karmic Credits is a pay-it-forward system, and it's regenerative, which means that money is born and it dies. So when you open an account, you're going to get 25,000 credits, and there's a button you can push 5 times. It'll give you another 50,000 credits each time if you're going through a few issues. And it's a pay-it-forward system, so you don't have to pay it back. And being regenerative, it's got a cap on how large the account can grow, and it's capped at 6 digits, so it'll be 1 cent shy of 1 million credits, so you can't get to 1 million in your account. Once it gets to 999,999.99, anything you get paid after that goes back into the start point for somebody else. So it's simple, it works that way. And if you want to go past that, well, you can keep it, move into the old-fashioned system with the interest and everything else. So this trading system that I built is, it's a basic accounting system, 1 + 1, that's it. And that's all it needs to do. It doesn't have fees, charges, interest, and it doesn't have any facilities for loans or periodic payments, because you don't need that in the system. It gives you your basic needs for free. So the changeover is quite, it sounds dramatic, but it's actually quite easy to do. I've also built a housing system, the guardianship housing system, where I created a guardian right. And the guardian right is a name for the fixtures. So what we're doing is separating the land from the fixtures. And we have to do that because land is in the debt-based system, but the fixtures, or the use of the land, is not. And because it's not, we can actually create a system for that and get ourselves out of the debt-based system through property. So the guardian right is a depreciating asset which reduces at 10% per annum. Every 10 years the owner of the property gets to buy back that share, because it's an equitable interest in a property, and they'll be able to buy it for a fixed price. So it's good for investment, because that means there's no speculation. People know exactly what it's worth and how long it takes to get to the end. And for people, well, once you get to the 10 years and the thing's been paid off, the next 10 years of living in that house is free. You know, it's the purpose of the whole thing. That's what it's all about. So there's other systems for food. There's other systems for energy. I've got them half written down in paper, but I haven't completed them. And other people can do that, or help me do that. I'll probably help them do it, and they can do it. And yeah, so that's it. So that's a different way of looking at the world, and a different reality we can step into. These systems are ready right now. And best part about that is as this society of ours starts to break down and people don't know where to put their money, these 2 new needs-based systems with a needs-based Needs-based investment is the first. Needs-based investment, you can't lose your money on it because it's not connected to the old one. So it doesn't work that way. So you'd have to look it up and see why I say that. To do that, you've got to go to empowerusaustralia.com or manianway.com. The Karmic Credit app is available on the App Store, so anyone can download that and start trading with each other with it. It's a peer-to-peer decentralised system. It's not a Bitcoin, or it's not a token, or it's not any of those things, so it's not going to get valued up or valued down. It is a basic trading system that mankind needs, and it is not backed by fiat or gold or anything like that. It is designed to work as a tool for our basic needs. So it's not something you can say it's backed by basic needs, but it's not. It's a tool to create the basic needs. So anyway, that's what it's for. So like I say, if you're interested, it's all about building a new earth based on the philosophies that you've had to build, based on the foundations and things you've had to work through, based on the systems and tools you've had to go to solicitors and knock your head against council walls to see what works and what doesn't. But that's what's been built, and it's all passed. It's with flying colours. I've passed the Australian Financial Securities Licence. I don't need a credit licence. I've passed the anti-counter-terrorism financing and anti-money laundering rules. My systems don't fit into those, and because they're different. So maybe one day they'll throw me out with the bathwater, but at the moment they're all in, and that's how we have to change. So it's very easy to change because the systems are here. So anyway, it's Glenn Phelan, the Nine Way. Thank you very much for listening.